Uh-oh. Okay, we'll start with this. Ahead of this weekend's PBC show, Isaac Pitbull Cruz seeks to make Angel Fierro matchup a fight of the year.
He better.
He gave up a Ryan Garcia fight later on this year to focus on this fight, to focus on this one. As the expectation exists that Saturday night's pay-per-view main event between unbeaten light heavyweights David Benavidez and David Morrell Jr. will rank as an all-timer.
What?
All-time what? All-time great fight?
Who wrote this article?
Lance Pugmire. Lance Pugmire wrote it, and his penchant for overselling this fight.
Back to Isaac.
The 140-pound undercard bout pitting recent WBA title holder, former champion Isaac Cruz, and his Mexican countryman Angel Fierro features all the attributes fight fans crave. A desperate-to-win ex-titleist coming off a loss, a perturbed contender feeling snubbed because Cruz briefly entered into a May bout with Ryan Garcia, two Mexican fighters carrying resumes loaded with wars. I believe we can steal the night, and this can be fight of the year, Fierro told payperview.com. Nothing to worry about. He's a tough fighter, but I'm prepared 100%. For those not aware, Amazon is distributing the pay-per-view, but so is payperview.com. In case you don't have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can buy it there.
Somebody needs to.
Even though Cruz ultimately withdrew from a verbal commitment to be Garcia's May 2nd comeback opponent in New York, he has been replaced by the former 140-pound champion he defeated last year in Rolly Romero. Fierro said he has used that dalliance as motivation. He thinks Isaac was overlooking him for even entertaining a Ryan Garcia fight. I don't know what is happening with Ryan Garcia, but I feel Cruz is underestimating me, Fierro said. And he's going to see what's going to happen. I know people don't believe in me, but he's going to see. Cruz is hell-bent to restore his destructive reputation after getting frustrated by new WBA champion Rayo Valenzuela in their August 3rd bout in LA. You're going to see a hungrier Pitbull, a Pitbull off the chain, Cruz said, explaining he dropped out of the Garcia fight because I wasn't going to lose my focus on the Fierro fight. I'll do everything in my power to make this fight of the year. No doubt about it. He better, because what he could have done in this situation is pull out of this fight, fake an injury if you have to go ahead with the Ryan Garcia fight. That fight would have paid you more, win or lose. So if you have to nix this one, you do what you have to do for yourself, your family, and your bank account. I think that's what former champion Israel Madrimov did when he withdrew from the Sergey Bohachuk fight due to bronchitis.
Quote unquote.
He, like Isaac Pitbull Cruz, ended up accepting two fights, a Sergey Bohachuk fight and a Virgil Ortiz fight if he beats Sergey. But shortly after news broke that he had accepted a Virgil Ortiz fight to take place after the Bohachuk fight, he comes down with a bad case of bronchitis, quote unquote. We all know what happened there, and I don't even blame him. He pulled the plug on the Bohachuk fight to prioritize the Ortiz fight, and I think that Isaac should have done something similar. He should have pulled the plug on the Fierro fight to go ahead with the Garcia fight, because that one pays better. I'm sure Angel Fierro would have been mad about it, but who gives a damn? You pull out of this fight, he ain't your problem. The reason I say this is because Isaac Cruz is a limited fighter of limited ability, and under those circumstances, you're only going to get so far, and you're only going to get but so many opportunities like that one. To headline with Ryan Garcia, and all the money that would have paid, he's been lucky, Isaac Cruz, landing a Gervonta Davis fight, on short notice, getting not one, but two offers to box Ryan Garcia. Oh, he's been lucky, he has been, but luck runs out.
Eventually.
God forbid his does on Saturday night. If he loses to Angel Fierro, well, you can forget about big paydays with Ryan. Big paydays like that would have been the most opportune time to catch Ryan Garcia because he would have been coming off over a year of inactivity. Speaking of Ryan Garcia, he's finally enrolled in VADA drug testing ahead of his upcoming fight with Rolly Romero.
After both he and his fans tried to make his situation VADA's fault.
Las Vegas. Ryan Garcia has officially enrolled in the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association drug testing protocol, a steep seen as the final one towards a planned 3-fight series that will include his return to the ring in May and a rematch with bitter rival Devin Haney in October. Southern California's Garcia, 24-1 with 20 knockouts, will additionally participate in a drug testing program supervised by the California State Athletic Commission, according to the fighter's manager, Guadalupe Valencia.
I thought he got rid of Guadalupe.
So did I. I heard a blurb about something like that a few months ago, but I guess not. Ryan Garcia, 26, is currently serving a 1-year suspension from the New York State Athletic Commission after submitting 3 positive tests for the banned substance Osterin, which forced his April 20th 3-knockdown majority decision win over 2-division champion Devin Haney to be altered to a no contest. Ryan has always been a clean fighter. He was the victim of contaminated supplements, Valencia told Boxing Scene in a Thursday morning text message.
Oh, we're back to the contaminated supplements, and here I thought VADA were the ones who set him up.
The level of contamination had zero benefit to him, as our experts have opined. Those are the facts. He had tested all of his career with clean results, and that will continue to be the case.
That would mean a lot more. If you weren't able to say that about literally every single fighter that's ever tested positive at any point in their career, that they were a clean fighter up until that point.
You could literally say that about Jarrell Miller. You could say that about Luis Ortiz, Alexander Povetkin, Dillian White, Conor Benn,
Canelo,
Tyson Fury, all of them. You could literally say that about anyone because all you're really saying is that he was a clean fighter until he wasn't. All the tests were negative until the one that was positive. Haney and his father and trainer and manager, Bill Haney, have mandated Garcia's enrollment in VADA as a condition of their rematch, which is planned as a Saudi Arabia Riyadh season event in October. Before that, Garcia will headline a planned early May card in New York in a welterweight fight against former WBA champion Rolly Romero, with Haney scheduled to fight former unified champion Jose Ramirez on the same card in a welterweight bout. Garcia has questioned why VADA testing is necessary, expressing discomfort in the relationship between Haney, conditioning supervisor, and former Balco mastermind Victor Conti and the Las Vegas-based VADA. He thinks they're all in cahoots.
But didn't his lawyer just say this is all due to contaminated supplements? Which one is it?
Saudi Arabia's Turkey El Sheikh routinely employs VADA for his fight cards, including the upcoming February 22nd card that includes title fights in the heavyweight, light heavyweight, and middleweight and lightweight divisions, with Garcia also committed to a third fight for El Sheikh in early 2026. VADA's random and stringent testing program will continue throughout these 3 cards. California Commissioner Andy Foster said the California Commission has total confidence in the VADA program and utilizes VADA services on a regular basis. The additional drug testing of Ryan Garcia in no way should discredit VADA. We are testing to provide additional information to clear his suspension.
So he finally caved.
I remember a little over a week ago Ryan mentioning that he wants to use some other organization, say USADA or something like that. Why didn't he?
Whether it's VADA or USADA, you hire them voluntarily, you understand. You go to them, you contract them, and they do the work you pay them to do.
Looks like he didn't go to anybody, and he had to acquiesce. He had to cave. You want to go through with this 3-fight series, you gotta use VADA, but let's be honest here, VADA ain't the reason this guy tested positive.
I wondered, just the other day I talked about it here on the channel, and I wondered whether or not there would be any anti-doping testing implemented for the Rolly Romero fight.
Ryan was sandbagging it, didn't want to use VADA. We all know why.
If you want to play stupid, play that game by yourself.
It's very obvious why. In every single one of these situations we've seen the last few years, as anti-doping testing in the sport has become more normalized, commonplace, not a single one of those boxes ever tried to defame, defraud VADA, delegitimize that organization based on what you paid them to find.
It's all in the name. Voluntary anti-doping agency. Voluntary. You have to volunteer.
Ryan did, so that when VADA does their job and they actually find something, you try to make this their fault? What are you, a moron?
Yes, that's the short answer.
So this is an added layer of spice ahead of Ryan Garcia's fight with Rolly Romero. You wonder how he's gonna look now that he's in the hot seat, under the hot lights. He's already coming off over a year of inactivity, or he will be the night of the fight.
He's also gonna get tested too. Get tested by the same agency he didn't want to use.
So how's he gonna look? Will his speed still be there? His power?
In my previous video, we talked about Devin Haney's fight with Jose Ramirez and how it's not a foregone conclusion that Devin beats that guy. Now I'm wondering, will Ryan beat this one?
Ruin the whole goddamn plan. They could ruin the whole goddamn thing to where these guys don't make it to a rematch with each other.
Devin's facing a pressure guy, a big one. We all know Devin can't crack an egg, and he's not too good at handling pressure. Ryan may not have that added advantage, that added edge from his special sauce.
It's all very interesting.
So now when I took the fight from him, I mean, when I told them I want to make this fight, they're put in a position where they can't say no. But now that the time is here, look at him, he's scared, he's not saying nothing. I could tell in his eyes, when I could feel somebody's fear. And I feel it 100% with David Morrell, he's scared of me.
David.
He was going at you from the
Yeah, because they're all nervous. He's mad because I exposed his ass that he's taking more money from David Morrell than David Morrell's making himself. So that's all I got to say.
David, in the art of war, it says if your opponent has a temper, irritate him. Do you think, though, that maybe that's what he's trying to do?
Bro, at the end of the day, like, I'm cool with you, but every time you do interviews with me, you're kind of like throwing like indirects and shit. Like, that's what it's been like with you.
Say again?
With you. Like, what? Like, so is that you? That's what you think he's doing?
No, maybe. I'm asking
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Well, then go ask him about his art of war and everything.
Well, I did, and
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, but at the end of the day, we're selling fights, right? Would you rather me be up here like, oh, it's a good fight?
no. Are you the kind of guy where getting under your skin actually helps you?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I'm trying to sell the fight because I'm trying to sell pay-per-views. I'm trying to have people interested in this because if I'm not saying nothing, this fucking guy's not gonna say nothing. At the end of the day, people are paying hard money for this fight. They want to see something, so let's give them what they want to see.
He snapped at Sean Zattel, and I don't think Sean Zattel actually meant anything by what he was asking. He was probably just trying to diversify the line of questioning because so many people in the media ask the fighters the same questions over and over.
Sean might have been just trying to keep it fresh, keep it interesting.
You hear David Benavidez say that he's trying to sell a fight. He's trying to sell a pay-per-view. To that, boxing insider Rick Glaser says Benavidez versus Morrell is DOA, dead on arrival.
And it's definitely that.
As tickets are dead, no one I personally know is buying the pay-per-view, but many have admitted they're going to steal the pay-per-view. This fight could well be a great fight with real fireworks, but it's dead. Another red ink special by the PBC. PBC is a dead and very tarnished brand, and that's why Amazon Prime is fleeing the sinking PBC.
More doom and gloom from Rick, but I think he's spot on.
As a very on-edge David Benavidez snaps at reporters while doing his best to sell this fight, certain contingencies were put in place should he go too far and lose his temper.
David Benavidez has been threatened with a 25% fine if he hurts David Morrell pre-fight.
If he touches David Morrell Jr. again. The revelation follows their tip-off press conference where Benavidez shoved Morrell during their face-off. This was after the Mexican Monster threatened to break Morrell's mouth. Morrell reacted by throwing his belt at Benavidez, who ducked to avoid getting hit. Luckily, security was on hand to prevent a brawl, but the incident left many talking points. There were suggestions Benavidez could lose his cool and become emotional in the fight. Benavidez also accused Morrell of trying to hurt him. There is so much at stake in this fight.
Yeah, David's been on edge the whole time.
He can barely contain his excitement. Some would call it roid rage.
What it looks like. Others might say it's because these two guys really don't like each other, and now that the fight is made, David is chomping at the bit to get his hands on Morrell.
The winner will be the mandatory for the undisputed light heavyweight title that will be contested between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol in their February 22nd rematch. The WBC has already confirmed this will be the case. The winner will remain undefeated, which also leaves the door open for a possible Canelo fight later on down the line. Fights are often lost before the bell rings. This may involve a combination of mind games and overworking in the gym. Benavidez will have to remain composed now that fight week is here, but the Mexican has not been impressed by Morrell's camp, threatening him with financial penalties.
That's what they said. They want to talk all that rubbish, but they're not really like that. But I wasn't planning on touching him anymore, the crybaby. If this is a fight, you've got to make the other person uncomfortable from the first time you see them until the fight is over. I'm not going to let nobody punk me. It's me or you. If you come in here thinking you're a hot fighter, I'm going to show you what's up. It's going to be a great fight on February 1st. Don't miss out, Benavidez said.
We've seen a bit of stoicism from David Morrell, whereas David Benavidez has been quite hot in the collar.
Why are you mad?
In terms of moving back down to 168, is that out the window now?
I'm not going back down to 168. I don't care if Canelo, if he wanted to fight me and told me to go down to 168. I don't care about that money. I don't care about none of that. I was at 168 for a while. 3 years. I was number one contender. I was not given that opportunity, so now I'm here at 175 fighting the guys that have balls that actually take on their number one contenders.
Have you completely lost hope in that fight happening?
I don't think about that fight. I mean, I only think about what's on the table, and I only think about what's ahead of me. I knew that this fight was potentially we could make it. We made it happen. Now I'm only thinking about this fight and then unifying the titles after.
Look at Benavidez in that video, and is it my imagination? Or does he look a little bit gaunt, a little bit gray? His cheeks are sunken in, and so are his eyes. He's clearly irritable during fight week.
Got Mount Kilimanjaro growing out of his nose.
He's angry. He's very angry. And one might interpret that anger as a hard cut. That getting down to 175 may have been difficult. That after just 2 fights at 175...
Jesus, he just got there.
The thing with David and other fighters like them is they don't live the life in between fights. They balloon in weight. They eat like there's no tomorrow. So by the time a fight rolls around, making fight weight is not going to be easy. Of course he's all but done at 168.
Making fight weight in a general sense isn't easy, but it's even harder when you don't live the life.
In spite of all of this, I still have David Benavidez winning tomorrow because I just can't trust David Morrell, who only has 11 professional fights, and not a single one among them is against the current or former champion.
You know what? If he proved me wrong, I wouldn't be mad about that.